Pardon? Sorry. What we have learned yesterday we have started with the concepts of the probability. We have learned the basics in the first lecture, and then in the last lecture we have learned about the two important theorems, the product and the addition theorem. We have learned the addition theorem, in which we have said that probability of A union B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B. And in the case of let me write on, or let us go back just for a little bit revision. Correct. So this is the addition theorem we have learned. What we are saying here, that probability of A union B is equal to PA plus PB minus probability of A intersection B. And if the events are mutually exclusive, in that case, this intersection will be phi. Mutually exclusive, we have learned that when they cannot happen together. Correct. So in that case, when there is nothing common in them, we have seen through the examples that how we are going to conclude that they are mutually exclusive or not. So in that case, this intersection will be phi, and the probability will be 0 of this A intersection B. So in that case, we have only probability of A union B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B. This is our addition theorem. Then we have learned regarding the multiplication theorem. But
Ma'am, one
multiplication,
question is there. Ma'am,
Anji,
ma'am, can you upload all the lectures, ma'am, ongoing also, ma'am, after this, after class, because it will be easy for us, ma'am, because
lecture
anytime we can revise while
regarding
seeing
the
the video also.
you are saying regarding the recording, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but wherever feasible, I will do it. Actually, today also I have waited for the PC because on the mobile, the recording facility is not there. That's why I have waited.
Yes,
Ki,
ma'am.
okay,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
will wait for the PC. Then only. If sometime it is not possible, then I will not. But okay, that is okay. Whatever the recordings I will do, I will share it with you. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है बेटा चलिए let us start with the revision that we are doing regarding the multiplication theorem, that if A and B are two independent events, then in that case we have learned that how to find out their intersection, A intersection B, and its probability. So probability of A intersection B in that case is given by PA into PB. And which type of example fall into the category that we have seen, that till now we have worked with the one coin, one dice, these type of things, or one type of thing that we are doing, means only one experiment we are dealing with. Here we are saying that when we have more than one type of thing, as we have seen in the examples, we are talking about 5 coins, we are talking about 2 cards, and the different scenarios are there. So we have done this. So we have covered till now the addition theorem and the multiplication theorem, which are equally important as conditional probabilities. But as you can say, according to my point of view, if I have to give the question to the students, I will never prefer to give conditional probability if I really want the student to be pass out. Why? Because conditional probability is a thing where students need some time to think of. So whenever simple questions are coming, they are always from the either addition theorem or multiplication theorem. Regarding the conditional probability, you have to be very much aware that what type of questions can be asked, because these questions are really very tricky. Right? So let us start with the things and be sure to learn it according to the formula and as well as logically. Means you have to be aware mentally that what are the things going on here, what the user is trying to say. So what conditional probability is, in a random experiment, if A and B are two events, then probability of occurrence of event A when B has already occurred, and with the condition that P of B, probability of B is not equal to 0, then the conditional probability of A when B has already occurred is denoted by this symbol. So whenever we are working with something in which one condition is there, that has already been happened, means something has already been happened, now what is the chance? For example, if I ask today, actually when I started my lecture now, the electricity is no more, and it is just you can say okay, my laptop is still in LPU and I'm working with a desktop at home. So what I thought for that, already my lecture is prepared, already the link has been gone, and just 2 minutes prior I'm thinking for, I have to join a new meeting, I have to create a new meeting or not. So what I'm looking for, that already something has been done. Now I'm thinking for the occurrence of an event. I'm thinking for how the meeting is going to be started when the meeting link has already been sent to you. Correct? So I'm actually looking for the conditional probability. So here the same thing is there, that probability of occurrence of event A. We are looking for what is the chances of happening of A when B has already been occurred. B हो चुका है already, जैसे link share हो चुका था, and I am looking for कि meeting में laptop से ले पाऊंगी या नहीं desktop से. So this type of things fall into the category of conditional, means whenever for creating a probability we have a condition. Correct? And how we are going to calculate it? This is the formula, which is very easy. When we go to the mathematical notation, here it is written in terms of language, English. So what we are saying here, we are saying the number of outcomes favorable to A, which are also favorable to B, whatever the common things are there, means whatever the outcomes are in favor of both A and B, divided by number of outcomes which are favorable to B only. And how we can remember it? When we are writing out the formula, we are saying when we are looking for the probability of happening of A when B has already been occur. So actually we are looking for, because B has already been occur, it is to become in the denominator. Here A by B is there and B has to be written in the denominator. In the numerator what we have, A and B both should be there, and there is an intersection, means we are looking for probability of happening of both of them together. Correct? That's why we are saying favorable to A and favorable to B also. And why we are writing out the condition? Because here PB is not equal to 0, because, so that denominator will not be 0, and we are not getting the infinite type of term. Similarly, if you are finding out the probability of happening of B, this is how to read it out. Whatever the first thing is coming, you have to calculate probability of happening of this thing. So we are looking for probability of happening of B when A has already occurred. A event has already been occurred, and we are looking for कि A तो हो चुका है, what is the chances of happening of B? B के होने के क्या chance है? So again we have to write down A is here. So I have to write down A in probability of A in the denominator, and in the numerator is same for both, probability of A intersection B, with the condition here that this denominator must not be equal to 0. So this is how we are looking for the conditional probability. Right? Okay, here we have applying the multiplication rule. Multiplication rule is actually coming to this scenario because we are dealing with the conditional probability. So I will tell you how to find it out. Till now what we have learned that probability of A intersection B, the formula that we have written and that we have just revised today is probability of A intersection B is equal to PA into PB. Correct? This was the formula, but this formula is to be used when we said then A and B are independent event. Correct? When we have talked about 5 coins, taking out 2 cards, these type of things. So what we are saying that we have to start with the question, and the probability of A intersection B we know is to be calculated by the multiplication rule. A intersection B means both will happen together. When they are independent events, we have to write down PA into PB, but when they are not independent, I have to use this formula. Now what this formula is? This formula is coming from this, the second formula. Here if I write down probability of A intersection B, if I start writing out from here, how can I write down? I can write down probability of A intersection B. If I cross multiply the denominator on that side, it is equal to probability of B when A has already happened into PA. Correct? And earlier what we have, earlier we have seen that when the events are independent, we are getting probability of B into probability of A. It's commutative, so we can write down PA into PB or PB into PA, both are same. Correct? So from this formula of the conditional probability, we are getting this relation. While earlier we have learned this formula. So what the change is, we are saying that conditional probability is given by this formula from which I can calculate A intersection B in this form, and it is to be used when the events are depending upon each other, because things are depending upon each other, that's why we are calculating its conditional probability. अगर एक हुआ दूसरे के होने के क्या चांस है, करेक्ट? तो दे आर डिपेंडिंग अपॉन. जब दोनों इंडिपेंडेंट है तो ऑब्वियसली देयर इज नो रिलेशन. सो इन दैट केस b बाय a इज सेम एज b, बिकॉज a का इफेक्ट b पे नहीं आ रहा. करेक्ट? सो दिस इज व्हाट वी हैव. चलिए लेट अस स्टार्ट अगेन विद एग्जांपल्स. द फर्स्ट एग्जांपल इज सेइंग probability of getting a number or rolling a dice. I think they are the simplest one. We know p is equal to 1 by 6. And if we have probability of getting a number when the number is known to be even. Let me show you again. Here we are saying probability of getting a number on a rolling a dice. Any number can come, so the probability is 1 by 6. Here we are saying probability of getting a number or rolling a dice when the number is known to be even. An even number should appear on this top. So what is the chance? We know three numbers are even, so it becomes 1 by 3. How it's coming 1 by 3? Here what we are saying, probability of getting a number when the number is known to be even. We already know that even number is appearing. Then we are looking for what is the chance. So can you discuss how we are writing out the conditional probability? Try it out. Because earlier when we are saying probability of getting an even number, so we know that even numbers are 3 and we are writing out the formula 3 by 6 that giving me the value 1 by 2. Right? Here we are saying we are calculating the probability of getting a number or rolling a dice when number is known to be even. So try it out, write on the formula what we are looking for, because if you will understand then you can do. Let me show you again. Here we have this formula. These formulas we have written. Number of outcome favorable to A when it is favorable to B, or the common things that should be on the numerator part. Denominator is part is saying probability of happening of that particular event. For example, here we are saying probability of getting a number when the number is known to be even. So number is known to be even. This has already been happened. So number is known to be even and we are looking for probability of getting a number. So how we are getting the answer? Try it out. Try to write in the formula and let us use this second formula. Probability of B by A is equal to PA intersection B by PA. Are you getting how we are doing it? Give it a try. Okay, let's go to the question. I think it's easy to do here. Here first we are saying probability of getting a number. Probability of getting a number means, let me take, I'm using the formula probability of B by A. Let me write down again. Probability of B by A is equal to probability of A intersection B divided by probability of A. This is the formula we have. Now here what is our A and what is our B? First we have calculated probability of just getting a number on rolling a dice. So getting a number means we have just rolled a dice and we are getting 1 by 6. Correct? So according to this question, the second part, we are saying probability of getting a number on rolling a dice. This we have already calculated. Na? It was coming as 1 by 6. That is already known to us. And when the number is known to be even. So if we talk about probability of B getting a number on rolling a dice when it is already been known to be an even number. So what is the probability of getting an even number? We know separately that probability of getting an even number is 1 by 2. Total numbers even are 3 out of, here it is seen, sample space is reduced to 246. So we have 1 by 2. 3 by 6 gives me 1 by 2. So if we write down the formula, probability of A intersection B is giving me getting just a number, and when the number is known to be even, so I have to write down here 1 by 2. And if I cancel it out, I will get the answer which is 1 by 3. So this is how we are using the concept of conditional probability. Is it clear how we are doing? And for the same thing, we have written here, similarly, probability of getting a number on a rolling dice when the number is known to be odd. So when the number is known to be odd, again we have the same thing. Getting a number on rolling a dice has a probability still 1 by 6, and the probability of getting an odd number 3 out by 6 means 1 by 2. So if we use the formula probability of rolling getting a number on a, so we have used b na, okay, so let me use same, when the number is known to be odd. If the number is known to be odd, so again the formula is giving me the same thing, 1 by 6 and 1 by 2 here means we are using in the denominator and it's coming above. This is the rule of division by fraction part. So that's why we are getting the value as 1 by 3. Here also the value is 1 by 3. Okay. Now it's your turn. You have given with the if A be a two events such that probability of A, here it is given in the terms of decimal. It's not fractions, but I think it's easy to be done. PA is given, probability of A, probability of happening of B, PB, and the union is given. You have to find out A, conditional probability of A when B has already occurred, and B when A has already occurred. For your convenience, let me write down the formula. Start working with your pen and paper and let me see who is going to give me the result which is correct. We have to calculate A by B, which we have seen that it is equal to probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B. So this we have to calculate, and similarly we have to calculate probability of B when A has already been happened. And it's very simple. Sometime in the MCQ you have seen these type of examples because there is nothing to be done. You have just to use the formula, put the answer, and yes, obviously it needs some logic to be used. Okay, I'm just writing out for the sake that I'm waiting for your outputs, what you are getting. So try to give me answer as fast as you can. We have probability of A. So this is the formula we have. Now, according to me, if something is there to think about it, that here we have PB is given, PA is given, but P of A intersection B is not given. So it is up to you how you are going to calculate with A intersection B. Okay, Himanshu has given me an answer. I'm not sure it's correct or not. Others also please write down. You have to find out A intersection B, and I think all of us know the formula of probability of A intersection B, how it can be calculated. If all of you are having your pen and paper, be sure to work with it and try to give me an answer. Himanshu, also you have given me one answer. Try to give me more because two parts are there, A by B and B by
And that
A.
is
That you have
when
to.
first part is wrong. Actually, I assume that this is A intersection B. That P A
Mm.
intersection A union B. I assume that. So
No, no,
answer is
you have not to assume. You have not to assume, you have to calculate.
first answer
Calculate
is 1 by
more.
2.
I have to check. I have not done. Let me start doing it and then I will make it confirm because I can't show it on the screen. It will be visible to all. So do it and let me confirm.
Second is 3 by 5.
Okay, let me check. Yes, first is 1 by 2 and the second is 3 by 5. Correct. Now, all others, please try. And if you're not getting, let me know. Otherwise, I will assume that you have done and you know what is the way to get it out. As a hint, I can let you know that probability of A union B is given to you. So you have not to assume that this is intersection because they are totally different. A union B means when at least one of them can happen. A can happen, B can happen, or both can happen. A intersection B means both are happening together. Correct? So you have to use the formula. And which formula you have to use? You have to use the formula probability of A intersection B. Actually, we have written for A union B, and the same formula can be written for A intersection B. We can write down probability of A intersection B is equal to PA plus PB and the minus of PA union B. Earlier what we have written probability of A union B is equal to PA plus PB minus their intersection probability. So here we have just replaced A union B on this side and A intersection B on this side, and from there we are calculating probability of A intersection B, and after that we have to substitute it here, and PA PB are already given that were in the denominator, and we can solve it. I request others to please do, because I'm not able to see what actually you are doing. You are lying out, you are just sitting with a mobile phone speakers or whatever you are doing. So please be sure to do and let me know so that I can understand that yes, I'm doing efforts and yes, you are listening to me. And these are the topics where you can also practice at your home with some engineering mathematics books also, and explore the different you can say the options available to you in the form of e-books nowadays, so that you can practice the questions there. I'm getting an answer, I think, just from 2 3 students. Himanshu is there, Karthik, Afridi, and Dhiru. What about others? A lot of students are there. Anwar, Arjun, Farhan, Lokesh, Misa, Praful, a lot of, I think, total 21 along with me coming. Tell him. We have not to waste time because already we are late with the lecture. So here we have the solution also on the slide. You can go through it. It's up to you whether you are practicing or not. I'm just doing the efforts and motivation that yes, you have to practice. So here we have PA, PB, and A union B is given. So what we have to do? We have to do the use of addition theorem, and using addition theorem, we have this statement, and the same I can use to calculate A intersection B, because it is just the addition theorem. If I just write down the value over here, and this is unknown, so I can use by just taking this on this side and hence calculating, I will get the value as 0.3. When the intersection B is here, I can use the multiplication, conditional theorem, or the multiplication theorem also, we can say it, and we are getting 1 by 2 and 3 by 5 as the correct answers. Correct. Let's start with the next one. Here we have a question. A die is rolled twice and the sum of numbers appearing on them is observed to be 7. Means die is rolled twice and whatever the numbers are appearing on them, their sum is already observed to be 7. We are looking for what is the conditional probability that the number 2 has appeared at least once. At least once means there must be 2 either at the first die, there must be 2 either at the second place, or there can be 2 at the both place. But the thing is, we are saying the sum is observed to be 7. So when sum is observed to be 7, so obviously it cannot appear at the both place. Correct? So here we have to think for what is the conditional probability that the number 2 has appeared at least once. So we are looking for the probability that 2 will appear, and when already it is known that the sum is coming as 7. So can you write down the pairs by yourself where we are getting the number as 7, sum as 7. Sum is already observed to be 7. So we have, if we write starting out, it's 1 6, it's 2 5, it's 3 4, it's 4 3, it's 5 2, and 6 1. 1 2 3 4 5 6. 6 time, or we can say 6 order pairs are those which are giving me the total sum to be 7. Correct? Hope so. If you have your pen and paper, you have worked with there. And from there, we are looking for the conditional probability that 2 has appeared at least once. So 2 are appearing as 2 5 and 5 2. So let's see how to calculate the probability. Here we have taken that let this is the way that how you have to write down in the exam. Here we are saying let A and B are the two events such that A means denote getting two number at least one, and B denote getting 7 as the sum of the number on two dice. And if I can write on the pairs, here we have A is just getting two at least once. So here we have written that 2 can appear in how many ways. We are not bothered about the getting sum. And then we have said when the sum is to be 7, what are the ordered pairs? 2 5 5 2 6 1 1 6 3 4 and 4 3. And if I calculate what is the probability of getting at least number 2 when the sum is 7. So here if I say it's very easy to do that if you have just written 2 5 and 5 2 means these are the two ordered pairs out of the total possible 36. So actually without using this conditional probability also means the whole this PA, PB and all that, you can directly go for 2 by 36 as A intersection B. And how to go for the conditional probability? Conditional probability we can go for that PA, probability of getting A. A means when 2 is appearing at least once. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9, and 11. In the 11 cases out of 36, we are getting number 2 at least once. And probability of B, we are getting 6 pairs where the sum is 7. So it is 6 by 36. If I look for the common things, A intersection B, it's 2. Here 2 5 5 2 also, and in the last case also, so that is 2 by 36. And again now using the conditional probability theorem or the formula, we can say probability of A when B has already occurred is their intersection divided by PB. So intersection is 2 by 36 and PB is 6 by 36. So if I divide the two, we are getting the value 1 by 3. Okay, some of you have already solved, that's good. So this is how we are calculating the values of the conditional probability questions. Right? So we are getting the value as 1 by 3, which is conditional probability of getting at least a number 2 on the ordered pair when the sum is 7, which is already known. It's an MCQ for you. Try it out and let me know the answer. You have to write it down. If you toss a die, what's the probability that you roll a 3 or less? So write down your answers. And it's simple. I don't know it's based on conditional probability. I think it's just a simple one. Probability that you will roll a 3 or less. Means number 3 will appear or less than 3 will appear. Some of you are giving me same answer, some answers are different. Think about it and let me know because the answer must be a single common one. Na? So try it out. Let us see the solution. Most of you have given the answer. Some are still giving. The answer most of you that you have given is correct. 1 by 2. And how we are getting it? We are getting it because here we are saying getting rolling a 3. So here if I write down probability of A when only 3 will appear is 1 by 6. And getting a number less than 3 means here we have 1 and 2. So 1 and 2 is here. So the probability is 2 by 6 Out of 6, 2 are in favor. And if finally we are looking for something is common, so there is nothing common, so we will get 3 by 6, and hence the answer is 1 by 2. Correct? Try for this. Two dice are rolled and the sum of face value is 6, means when we are throwing them out on the two dice the sum is coming as 6. We are saying what is the probability that at least one of the dice came up a 3, as we have done just now for a question of sum of 7. And one, we are saying at least one dice came up with a 2. Here we are saying one of the dice came up with a 3 and the sum is 6. So first you have to write down again those ordered pairs, those who are coming with at least 1, 3, and again you have to find out the sum which is coming to be 6. So if I write down the sum to be 6, it is 1, 5, 2, 4, 3, 3, 4, 2, and 5, 1. I think these are the ordered pairs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Similarly, you can write down when at least one is coming with a 3. And hence find out the conditional probability, because again it is very obvious that it is a question of a conditional probability. Okay, one more thing that I can do to help you. Let's go back to the question. Here you can see what we have done there. It's just a similar one. You have to write down A getting at least once number 3. Then we have B where the ordered pairs are giving me the sum as 6 instead of 7 there. And then you have to find out the answer.
Hello, ma'am. Will you please show me the question?
Okay. I'm getting one answer which is not listed over here. Okay, another one is also there. Let's see if it is correct. So yeah, I think some of the students are going to leave as they have their different lectures. So let us start with the discussion so that they can also aware of how we are doing. And some of you have actually done correctly. I'm getting response for 3 to 4 students. I think more than that. And all are writing out the answer is 1/5. Correct. So here the solution is also there. How you can get this? That you can get 6 as 1, 5, 5, 1, 2, 4, 4, 2, and 3, 3. And of these 5 has 3. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are there, and only one pair is having 3. So this is a way to do it directly also. So the answer is 1/5. Correct. You can go through the whole details also what we have done by taking the formula. So it depends upon you. If you are practicing, then the conditional probability questions can also be done orally by doing some of the mental work. Or you can you write on the formula, the whole concept, and then I'm using the formula you can get an answer. So here, I think it's clear what we are saying. That here, if I write down how to get a 6 on the 2 dice, so might be you have also written the ordered pair 1, 5, 5, 1, 2, 4, 4, 2, and 3, 3. And out of these 5, there is only one pair with the 3, or at least 1, 3, because here we have 3, 3. So the answer is 1/5. Correct? Okay, I think it's going to be the end of the PPT also. Let me take the last question. I have skipped this one because till now we have not discussed about the concept of the combination. So I'm skipping it. Might be later on we will come to it. Try this last question and I will stop discussion. Here we have a table that shows the blood group of 100 students. Number of students are given. They have the blood group A, B, O, AB, and B positive. One student is taken at random and we are looking for the probability that his blood group is B positive. So find out the correct answer.
Ma'am, 0.10.
0.10 is the D part.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I think most of you have written the same answer and it's correct. It's just very simple. The question is just giving me the blood groups and the number of students. So here if I see total are 100 and we are looking for the students with B positive. So obviously the value is 10 by 100. It means B is the correct option. Okay. So this is all about the basics of a probability and the conditional probability. According to me, you have one more topic in the probability, which is the Bayes theorem. So in the next lecture, I'm going to discuss the Bayes theorem. And one more thing that I have not shared the PPT till now because I have to look for that. And as soon as it will be prepared, I will share it with you. So for the time being, you have to go for whatever the concepts we have discussed in the probability. You have to go through that. You have to learn about the conditional probability because in Bayes theorem also, a conditional probability formula will be used. Right? So whatever we have done till now, if any doubt you have regarding that, you can ask me. On LPU Live also you can ask me or in the coming lecture, you can ask me. Correct? So for the timing, let us stop. And if any doubt you have, you are most welcome to ask me. Chalo. Any other thing, beta? So we just stop the recording.